All right. So, welcome. I hope y'all enjoy this live. Hopefully, it's showing clear. I've been working on this for a couple of days, but anyway, uh, today I've been hearing a lot of conversation about people saying that black men don't protect black women, and I'm just trying to figure out like what do you mean when you say that black men don't protect black women? Well, what are you saying when you say that? When you say black men don't protect black women, but the first question I want to put back on your plate is: do you want to be protected? Do you want to be protected? Now, this is not a bashing video, so I'm not trying to go that route, but it's just to get an understanding that if you're sending mixed signals, because you can't say, we want our black men to protect us, but yet on social media of every platform, all you're doing is bashing black men. You know what I'm saying? If you're just bashing black men, then you're gonna have some guys out there that like, whatever's whatever. They're not gonna want to deal with it because they're not gonna want to deal with you because of your attitude. And I don't think. See, this is what I'm trying to understand. Are you saying that if you get in a fight, black men are not sticking up for you? Are you saying that black men are not having your back? I mean, like, what is it that you're saying? How do you, when you say protect, what do you mean by protect? Because this conversation can go quite a few different ways because you got feelings on both sides. But it's all like, in order to address the issue with women saying, well, black men don't want to protect black women, and black men's, maybe feeling like, well, you know what? Black women don't want to be protected. It sounds like there needs to be some education in the middle to kind of help everybody kind of get to the point where they're like, when you say that, it's like, what are you talking about? Because you got to educate each other. You got to educate the young women on if a man is being kind and being courteous, if he opens the door for you, or if he's trying to show chivalry, you can't pull that whole I can open my own door thing. I can pay for my own meals. I can do this. I can do that. So you got to have a way to have those conversations so that you're not sending mixed signals. Because if I'm taking you out and I'm trying to be courteous and a gentleman, but I can all this, well, I'm a man. I'm a woman. I can do this. I'm a woman. I can pay my own. I'm a woman. I can do that. I can do that. Well, here's the thing. I go to the next woman and she got that same attitude. Eventually, I probably will feel like women don't want no help. You don't want a man that's your chivalry. You just want somebody that's just going to be there. So the thing about it is, what do women mean when they say black men don't protect us? And I think that's what needs to be clarified. What do you mean when you say that? Because I hear it said a lot, but I don't really hear anybody like really going into an explanation of what do you mean? How do you define protect? What is your definition of protect? When you say a black men don't protect me, what do you mean? Because like I said, you got to remember, there's mixed signals out there. Because some guys, when they show chivalry, the woman is receptive. In other cases, the woman is not receptive. So if a guy dates a woman, he dates the first woman, it doesn't work out, and she's all about I'm independent. The second woman is all about I'm independent. Don't open the door for me. I can pay my own meals. By the time he get to that third woman, he's gonna be kind of like, you know what? You do you. I just see what happens. If you want me to pay, I'll pay. If you don't, I don't. If I try to stick up for you, I'll just wait till you ask. If you don't ask, then I assume you got it. And I think that's what a lot of guys are running into. So there needs to be an education process between the two to where it's like you have an understanding when you want your man or a man to intervene. When should a black man intervene? If you're one of these independent women who feel like you can do everything yourself, you don't need no help, you don't need no support, then you need to just like, let it be known. When do you want a man to step in? Now, some women are clear. It's like, listen, if you see me in trouble, if you see me dealing with something, I need you to either stand beside me or, step in when you feel you need to step in. But it's confusing today because it's different. It's different. The whole thing now is just different. So it's confusing of when you, like, I know when I ain't gonna say, I know that if I'm with the woman and something is going on, I know as a man that I should step in. Okay. But you got to realize something. I'm sort of from an older generation, whereas the newer generation, you might meet somebody that might get upset for you stepping in. So that's what I'm trying to help me understand. What is it when you say protect? When you say that you want a man men are not protecting you, specifically black men, help me to understand. What is it what do you mean by say protect? I mean, because outline, are you talking about fighting? Are you talking about, bills? Are you talking about, providing? I mean, what are you talking about? Like, how do you narrow it down so it's clear that what's the difference between protecting? What's the difference between providing? What's the difference between being supportive? Because those are three different things, but you can sort of roll them all into one. But it needs to be clarified instead of all this YouTube bashing, Instagram bashing, Facebook and memes about black men. I mean, every time you turn around, that's the thing. Black men don't protect. Black men. And I'm trying to understand, it's like, but I've never heard nobody define protect. What do you mean by protect? Because I think there are some men out there. There are plenty of men who want to protect the person they're with. They want to protect the woman they're with. And I think there are some good women out there who's able to receive a man protecting them without feeling like, he's trying to make me feel weak or, make me feel like I'm not a woman. And I don't think that's the intent, but that's how it comes off with some women. They give that vibe. Like if a man does step in, they feel like he's trying to say that she can't handle it. She can't deal with it. And that's not it. That's not it. It's a natural instinct. Like if I was in a relationship and somebody was yelling at my woman, it's my natural instinct to get involved. If somebody pushes her, it's my natural instinct to get involved. If somebody's trying to talk to her, it ain't even got to be my woman. It can just be a woman in general. You know what I'm saying? If I see that she's in a situation to where she feels like, okay, she's uncomfortable, I have no problem walking up to a dude, hey man, hey bro, you might want to let this one go. She's not really feeling you. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with that. If I see a woman sitting at a table and the guy keeps trying to flirt with her, I don't have a problem saying, hey, you might want to step back a little bit, especially she's already given him the no. Like, listen, she's made it clear she's not interested. She don't want to talk to you. She don't want to deal with you. I don't have a problem of stepping to a guy. It ain't got to be all rude and buff, but just let them know, like, hey, bro, she ain't really into it, man. You just gone. Because you can always pull a dude aside, have that conversation. Some dudes will be jerks about it. Some dudes will be cool, like, okay. But the thing about it is, it's like, women need to be happy to be a woman and allow men to be the masculine role they want to be. See, exactly. That's a really good point. And it's not, it's not about trying to make the woman feel like she's not a woman, And that's a very good point. Women need to be happy to be a woman, allow men to be the masculine role they want to be. Exactly. And that's exactly it. And that masculine role doesn't mean dominant. It doesn't mean that you're trying to beat somebody or control them. It just means that you're being a man, you're being, and some people just don't get that. And I will admit, there are some bad men out there. There are some men that feel like they have to have the iron fist in a relationship, but that's not a man. That's not a man. That is not a man. A man wants where he's confident and she's confident. They're confident in each other. But when you get to the situation to where, you get this whole confusion about the different roles, the different, relationship status, it's just, I don't know. It's just tough right now. It's tough because I got friends that's in relationships, one in particular, and it just seems like they're constantly going back and forth. She makes more money. I could tell he's a little bothered by it, but he said that she doesn't let him do things. She doesn't let him get involved in things. And I'm like, listen, you can still do your part. You can still be a man. They just don't have that communication to come to a common ground. You know what I'm saying? I know that sounds I'm trying to put all their business out there in the street. They just don't have that communication to understand that they're a team. They're working together. No, despite the fact that she's making more, a couple times I've seen them out and she does have that I pay the majority, I bring in the bigger income attitude. Because we did a lunch one time and he said that he was going to pick up the check. It was only four of us. And she was kind of like, well, you don't make that much. And I could see his face just drop. And she took the check and she's like, let me figure out the tip. I'll take care of this. And I could see his whole face just drop. If he had any manhood after that, it was just totally wiped away. It was totally wiped away. And, it's like, I don't think he meant, the way she did it was just wrong. He agreed to pay. Everybody knew, she knew he was paying. But the fact that the way she kind of handled that whole situation in front of everybody, she totally took his manhood, in that respect. Because you could just see he was quiet the rest of the night. He didn't, you can just tell he was like, I just want to go home. Now, that car ride home was probably something else. I don't know. But the thing about it is, you let a woman be a woman and a man be a man. Understand the different roles. And it goes back to, when you talk about protecting each other, when you talk about being there for each other, the thing about it is we have to stop blaming each other. Because the truth is, for black men to go after black women, for black women to go after black men, nobody's educating anybody. No, and we're not educating our youth because clearly, if you're let me say, if you're 35 and up, you probably got a different set of standards for dating than the 35 group going down younger. Because the way they date nowadays is like I said, it's different. It's different. It's totally different. So I just hate to see that constant back and forth without people willing to educate each other, without couples willing to really understand, especially as black men and black women, because we don't hear other races going at each other like we do. We don't hear that. We don't hear them dogging each other out. We don't hear them talking about what the woman don't do, what the man don't do. If they do, they probably do it in private, but we do not hear them do it in public. Not the way we do. Where's it at here? We don't have that. They don't do that. But we try to. It's like we try to we get a kick out of who suffered the most. I agree. I totally agree. She really does have a masculine way. And I really believe she could have handled that after everybody left, when they got in the car, or even said, hey, I'm going to the bathroom, come with me. Y'all had that conversation in private. But it was no need to do that at the table. And I don't know what the point was, because everybody was capable of paying for their own bill. He just wanted to do something nice. He was just trying to be, he was just trying to be nice. That's all it was. And when she did that, I really felt sorry for him. I really did. And I'm not saying that she's a bad person, but she just has that type of mentality that, I don't know. Like, she just won't. I don't know if she feels. I don't know. I try not to. It's some stuff I know, but I don't want to say. It's just I've watched him before. Just the way she talks to him, just the way because he works a 9 to 5, and she's like more of an executive position, and really just on him. Like, I say this much. They had him. I guess her company had like a little, what you call those things, like those little Christmas. It wasn't a Christmas get together, but it was like a little corporate get together for the employees or whatnot. She didn't invite him. She didn't invite him to go. It's supposed to be like a family thing. And she said she just felt he would be out of place. And when he was telling me this, he was like, do you think I'm wrong? You think I'm hurting her? Part of me was like, dude, she don't respect you. I don't like to tell people what to do in a relationship. I like to let them talk and just kind of hear what they say. But I can tell, like, sometimes when he talks, he just wants to cry. And he was like, she don't want me to go. Like, is she embarrassed about me? Does she think I can't talk? And he's a smart guy. He just don't make what she make. And I don't know. I really didn't know what to tell him. So I just kind of let him vent about the situation, because I don't want to say, man, dump her. She don't respect you, dump her. But it's unfortunate, because you do have good men that get with women like that. If they were to break up, I wonder how he would treat the next woman. Would this put something inside of him that when he meets another woman and she's a good woman who does show him respect and does want a good relationship, how would he treat her? Would he treat her based on his experience with her? And if he does, that'll be wrong, because I know men and women do that. Because, there are some, men that treat women bad. And when the woman goes to the next relationship, she still has that mindset, what I'm saying? It's sort of like a little trauma. And I'm just hoping that he doesn't carry that into another relationship. So that's what I'm worried about. But I mean, but I don't know. That's a tough situation right there. I personally, I don't think I could deal with it. We would have to have like a real one-on-one to kind of understand like where I'm coming from and where she's coming from and how we deal with things. But I don't know if I could deal with that. I don't have kids, so ain't that really keeping them there. But I don't know if I could really deal with that. That's too much. That's too much. Yeah, it was disrespect. And she does have this thing about power and control. I mean, and you're right. That's a good point. I'm wondering if that was taught to her. Like, did she get that from her mother? Did she get that from her father? I mean, is that just part of her family dynamics that she just kind of embraced, and now she brought it into her relationship? So that's a good point. That is a very point. And I think sometimes we kind of underestimate that. If that was taught to her, who taught it to her? Who taught it to her? And why didn't somebody step in and say, hey, this is not the way to do it. This is not the way to go about it. I'm sure she got to have some friends that probably see or hear about her relationship, even people she probably talked to, that somebody should kind of like, like if you got a real friend would tell you like, look, you treat that person with disrespect. That's not the way to do it. That's not the way to treat your husband. That's not the way to treat your wife. So I'm wondering if she got some real friends, because somebody need to really talk to her. I mean, but that's a good point. A lot of this stuff is taught. It's taught. And some people just never get out of it. Or they will go through so many relationships before they finally figure out that they have an issue. they have an issue. They'll go through so many relationships, so many breakups, then it finally hit them when it's probably too late and they feel like they can't, they done passed up on some good people. And now they just kind of like by themselves trying to figure things out. Some people never let go of that stuff. And that's the sad part about it, because it's hard when you get older. It ain't easy because you ain't out there like you used to be. But I don't know. I mean, I really just wish that as Black people, we could find a way to communicate, our differences and come to not just communicate it, but come to an understanding of what it is that we really want, what it is that we want for each other. How can Black men be better supportive of Black women? Even with us being masculine, how can we show that masculine in a way that a woman doesn't feel like it's demeaning to her or making her feel weak? I think part of that is just recognizing, is just knowing the woman you with and just understanding the line of respect you need to have when you are dealing with women in general. If you're out in public, just being courteous. One of the biggest problems I got, I'm from Georgia. I moved up here to Maryland. One of the things that really irks me is when Black people walk by each other and don't speak. And I notice here in Maryland, that is like, it's like Black people don't speak. It's like they'll speak to other races, but when we walk past each other, it's almost like I can't let everybody know that we talking, that we know each other. And that just baffles me. It just really baffles me. I know that's off topic, but anyway, that just really baffles me, because I see it every day, and I'm like, why can't we just speak when we see each other? Just say hi, just say hello, give a head nod like we used to do. You know what I'm saying? But we don't do that no more. But we got to find a way to make so we're not seeing everything as we're not looking out for each other. We're not protecting each other. Yeah. It's weird to me too. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't really have any friends up here because I just can't. I just work, do my thing, but it's a different vibe up here than it is from, like from down south. It's a whole different vibe in the way they interact. Especially I can only speak primarily for the way the Blacks interact here. So it might just be a new experience for me. It may be something that other people are used to. Like I said, I'm not a person that's in the clubs and doing all that stuff. I did all that. So maybe it's an aspect to all this that I'm missing, but it's just a different thing. It is. It's weird. I really don't get it. I don't get it. So I don't know. I don't know how long I'm gonna be up here either. This is just it's too much. Like I said, it ain't bad up here. It's just it's a different vibe. It's a different vibe up here. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, is the police stuff worse up here? Yeah, I would say it is. I pulled over more times up here than I was in Georgia. Because I got pulled over one time because I had a camera in my car. Because when I do my video shoots, I had to film. Exactly. It's very different. I had to film the traffic. So when I pulled into this shopping center to get something to eat, I pulled out. Police pulled me over asking, "Do you have a camera?" I'm like, "Yeah." "What are you filming?" I'm like, "Dude, are you serious right now? Are you really serious?" But anyway, get on that. I'll be on that all night. But yeah, it's a different vibe up here. It's a whole different. I don't really get it. Like the part of I'm in Frederick, Maryland, so I don't and it's not much here. Like they don't have no clubs. it's more of a family type city. Like if you retire, that's the type of place this is. It's like if you retire and you just want to have a quiet, go out to eat. That's really all you can do. Eat, movies. They got a few parks, stuff that historical sites. That's about it. So yeah. Yes, that's about it here. But I don't know. I'm trying to understand this whole thing, the whole dynamics between black men and black women. And you know what? Sometimes I wish I could just get everybody together and we just have a real conversation, And I was hoping that that's what Juneteenth would turn into, not just, hammy holiday where everybody just kind of like hang out and do whatever, but something that really stimulates conversation, stimulates, people to really understand why we should be united, why we should work together, why we should communicate better. But it's just different here. It's just a whole different mentality in the way we communicate versus everybody else. Because I watch other races. It's like they will not bash each other in public. If they do, it's so slight and subtle. It's so slight and subtle. And then, but they may have another conversation behind closed doors. Whereas we go online, we be going all in. I mean, it just women ain't this and women ain't that, men ain't this, men ain't that, black man this, black woman that. And we don't need to do all that. We really don't need to do all that. Because we can always support our black women. We can always uplift them. And the same thing, black women can always support and uplift black men without feeling like we have to be in competition. Like if I'm doing good, it shouldn't feel like you're not doing good. It shouldn't feel like I have to step on you for me to get up. And that's how it feels right now. I was listening to, they were talking about, the whole George Floyd incident. They was talking about, police brutality. Then it turned into black women versus black men being killed. How many black women? Well, don't leave black women out. Black women are killed. And I'm like, y'all are fighting for the same thing. Y'all fighting for the same thing. Didn't understand that. It's like you're arguing the same point. You both fighting for the same thing. Why do you have to go after each other? It doesn't make any sense to have to go at each other. But that just seems to be the whole way that we really go about doing things, is attacking each other. And we have to stop going after each other. We have to stop, publicly bashing each other. Because it's not getting us anywhere. It's not getting us anywhere at all. I try to understand when a black woman says something. I try to understand, because I do recognize the fact that black women have a struggle in this country as well. They are dealing with things just as much as the black men, but we're both in the same battles. So we shouldn't be arguing about who's the better, who has the better oppressor. And that's what we're doing, arguing who has the better oppressor. And that should not be our argument. It should be, how can I help you? How can we do this together? You know what I'm saying? And one thing I would really like to see is when black people collaborate more. Like if you got a podcast, I got a podcast, instead of me trying to step on your podcast, why don't we collaborate together? Why don't we do a show together? Why don't we talk together? You know what I'm saying? Let's discuss women issues. Have some women on your show. Have them discuss the point of view, how they feel about this, how they feel about that. And it's the same thing, but without it becoming into a major debate and argument where you over talking each other. Even if you don't agree with each other, have a discussion to where you allow that person to be able to express themselves and try to understand. Don't just get offended. All right, it's getting late, so I think I'm gonna hop off of here. But I need to start doing more of these. I said I was gonna do more. I need to start doing more. But so hope you enjoyed it. And I'm gonna try to be regular with this like I'm supposed to. I've been working on the podcast, so I gotta try to keep that up, because that's we're in season 8 now with the podcast. So I'm trying to come up with new topics and seasons for that. So thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. So feel free to follow. I think I can follow you. So, but yeah. So appreciate it. And I will see you next time.